Welcome to the FIH Hockey Pro League show. 3 guests join me today to chat about the action from the latest FIH Hockey Pro League match at Netherlands and Belgium women. So it's a big welcome, a welcome back actually, after the Tokyo Hockey Show to South Africa's multi-capped Olympian Marsha Cox. Hi, Marsha.
Hi, Sarah. Hi, guys.
Brilliant to see you. It's also a hey, and how are you doing to USA midfield star Lauren Moyer, who's also making a return visit today. Hi, Lauren.
Hi, Sarah. Hi, everybody.
Brilliant. And Adrian Lock is back with us, the Spanish women's head coach. Hi, Adi.
Hi, Sarah. Nice to be back.
Brilliant. Well, yesterday we saw a battle between 2 European sides with the Netherlands emerging 3-1 winners over their neighbours Belgium. The goals came from Josie Berg, Frieke Moos and Leidewedge Velten for the Dutch and Stephanie van den Boren for the Belgians. 3-1 sounds a comfortable win, but I think it's fair to say that was far from the case for much of the game. And so if we go to Marsha first, what were your overall thoughts and reflections on that match?
I thought Belgium did really well at the start of the game. It was quite clear that they knew if they put the Netherlands on the back foot that they could reward themselves with a goal, which is what they did. But it's always a question, I guess, with teams playing against a powerhouse like the Netherlands, whether they can sustain that pressure for a longer period of time. But I thought Belgium did exceptionally well, particularly in the start of the game. And you could see that they definitely surprised the Netherlands with their intensity and just their basic skills. They were really sharp from the start.
Yeah. I mean, Lauren, the start of the game, I mean, Belgium really did put the Dutch under pressure. And it was important for them to do that in that game, in those opening minutes, wasn't it? To get sort of a foothold in the game.
Yeah, I agree. I think anytime that you can come out and match their energy or exceed Holland's energy, you're going to be in a good spot. Holding them scoreless through a half is no easy feat. And Belgium's definitely on the rise. I think that like Marsha said, their basic skills are really sharp and they play clean hockey. And when they do that, they're really dangerous. So important for them to get a good start and kind of shock the Dutch a bit.
Yeah, I mean, they looked very physical as well, I think, in those opening exchanges. Sort of a little bit of a mirror of the USA team. You know, they're going at things very, very hard and keeping an enormous pace up as well, weren't they?
Yeah, I think that's something that sometimes that we used to be known for or can be known for. So yeah, I think when we play Belgium, we have some similarities. But yeah, I think just going out and asserting yourselves and not backing down. You have to respect Holland, of course. You know exactly what kind of team that they are and the skills that they bring. But you can't be scared or timid because that's just not going to end well for you. So good for Belgium to come out strong.
Absolutely. On the converse side, Adi, I don't know about you, but I felt the Dutch looked to be out of sorts for the opening exchanges. I'm sort of putting it down to there are new players in the squad. Listeners or viewers might be wondering why that's happening because the team does train together and they have been together a long time. But I guess nothing can replicate the tension of stepping out on the pitch, can it?
Well, exactly, and they've been together, but not so much either. I think they're mainly with their club teams during this period, and they get together a few days before the Pro League games. And although you train together, like you say, it's not quite the same as when you play a competitive match with some new players in the team, and to make sure that everyone's on the same page, and the little combinations between players and what you're looking to do. It normally takes a little bit of time to gel. So yeah, maybe that's one of the factors that they were under the cosh a little bit in that first part of the game, especially in the first quarter. But then on the other hand, in the third quarter, when that kind of precision came for them, it made a difference. I mean, also because I think, like Alison said at half time, they lacked quite a lot of precision in the Ds in the areas. So both in attack, when they had attacking opportunities, the passes went astray or the reception just bounced off the stick and allowed the Belgians to recover. And the defence in the 25 yards, their own 25 yards, wasn't so strong outside the Ds to allow Belgium to maybe attack a little bit more, although they had a lot of possession, good intensity, but they didn't actually create a lot of goal scoring opportunities as such. And also both teams to me looked like they were playing different strategies to they played in the first game, and in Belgium's case especially a a different kind of press than they've done before. So I think both teams were trying things as well. And so with the new players and maybe different strategies and trying things out, then not everything's going to kind of gel straight away.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that press by the Belgians, it was a high energy press, wasn't it? It was something that was obviously going to put the players under physical pressure to keep that, to sustain that. Marsha, how difficult is it to mentally stay tuned in to that sort of thing when you are physically working so hard?
Yeah, I think, well, you mean like from the Dutch team, just absorbing
from the Belgian? So what we're talking about is so Belgium with their very high press and their high energy start to the game. We saw that drop off a bit as the game sort of went on. So I was just wondering how much the mental fatigue of concentrating on doing something new or following some new ideas actually pays a toll on the physical ability.
Yeah, I think that when you see the advantage that it offers you in the beginning, you almost put yourself under also more pressure to try and maintain it, and also maybe to step it up one more level, which can also backfire on you when the other team also decides to turn it on. And that's what we saw. We saw senior players in the Dutch team really take the initiative of stepping up the tempo and stepping up the pace. You saw some great moves from the more experienced players from the Tokyo Olympics and even Rio Olympic Games, the players with more than 150 to 200 internationals in that Dutch team, and particularly playing in the midfield, step up their game. And then I think it really makes it more difficult for the Belgium unit to maintain that high-paced energy that they started with, because in the beginning you're not met with that same level against you, and then suddenly the opposition step it up on their end, and the one-on-one battles become a little bit more intense for longer periods. So I think that then eventually physically you also are gonna struggle, but as much as you want it mentally, it's something that I guess comes with more and more practice at that high intensity. But I thought that they did really well. It didn't become, from my opinion, it didn't become a one-sided show, even when Belgium struggled to maintain their intensity and their pace.
Yeah. I mean, it was literally that 8-minute spell, wasn't it, where the Dutch really did put on the pressure. Adi, how much is that a sort of expression of the maturity of a side, or the confidence of a side, that they can switch the pace of their game so readily as the Dutch do? Because at times they look like they're in second gear, and then, as we saw in that match, they came out and they were in 5th or 6th or 7th gear for a short period of time. Yeah,
I mean, they're obviously trying hard all the way through, and sometimes it gels. But I also thought considering they had quite a few young players or new players in, they were very kind of concentrated all the way through the game. When things weren't going well, they defended well. They defended in numbers to make it difficult for the Belgians. And when the Belgians, like you say, dropped off a little bit, because I mean, it's something new for Belgium to press like that as well, that they tend to be more in a half court to try and draw you in and then counter attack. And the Belgians were missing some big players as well. I think we shouldn't forget. But like I said, they showed the confidence in going high. But the Dutch really take advantage when they have that little bit of space to attack into. And I think we saw in all 3 of the goals that were close together that because the Belgians were pressing high, they weren't able to accumulate enough defenders in their D when the Dutch attacked with pace. And I think that was a big difference. And maybe it was a physical thing. Maybe it was a question of they're seeing how long they can high press for before they need to alternate with a half court press. But Holland, when they attack with pace and precision, it's really hard to stop them. Either you've got a lot of defenders in the defensive zone, or you've got excellent physical and technical one-on-one defending to keep them out. But when they attacked in waves and they incorporate players from midfield into their attack, like they did in all 3 of the goals, quicker than Belgium could get players back, then they were getting in 3-on-1s, 4-on-2s, 5-on-2s. And in those kind of situations, they were clinical in that aspect of the game, and they put the game to bed in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, we saw an early example of the danger that the Dutch quick counter-attack posed. And Harry, if we could just have the first clip, please.
Still under pressure here, the Dutch. You can tell by shutting your eyes just from how quiet it is here. And Sunders trying to get them out of trouble.
Are we ready for 5 again?
That's an uncharacteristic error from a player such as David Agoda.
And it's penalty corner. Good work from Michel Stroop, the Belgian captain. And the Belgians are going to get an early chance to take the lead here. Let's see, first penalty corner of the match. It's a slapped attempt. Managed to get it away, the Dutch, and now they can counter. That's, of course, the other side of the coin too, penalty corner. Be a good chance if they can get this wide. They can get it wide. Janssen flashes through. Obviously, a penalty corner gives you a numerical advantage at one end of the pitch. Then it can quickly all turn around into a very good counter-attacking chance.
Almost like we planned that, Adi. So again, working in with your points there. But Lauren, you watching that game and also the earlier game where Belgium played the Dutch and then again against the Germans. They're being made to pay for not being clinical on some of their attempts, aren't they? And that was, that was a great sign. Stephanie van der Borren has been very good, but the early penalty corners just didn't really, they didn't really work. How, what were you thinking as you were watching the Belgians pile on that pressure in those first few minutes and not getting the results in terms of goals?
Yeah, I think as a player, it can be a little bit frustrating. You're up there and you're in their face and you're trying to enforce yourself on them. And especially if you're getting in the circle and you're getting some of those results as they don't fall, of course, it can be a bit frustrating. But I think you stick to the game plan and then, those passes seem to fall and you do end up finding the back of the net. So I think the problem with that press as well is it takes everybody, like you're saying, it takes a unit. So one player starts doing something different or, then you have the breakdown and then you have those counterattacks spaces. So it's tough.
Well, thank you so much, all three of you, for your time today and some really invaluable insight there. I know we all meet up again soon on this show, but that's the end of the women's action until after Christmas now. So we've got Netherlands and Belgium sitting at the top. Netherlands obviously ahead, thank you very, very much for your time, and I look forward to chatting to you all soon.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks.